Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Thursday the 10th of April 2025. We start off today's video with this. Some transfer news. Unexpected, because I bet you thought I was going to mention something else, but the fun and games today is at the end of the video. So maybe skip ahead. But I want to talk about this. So it's an exclusive from footballinsider247.com. Millwall and Preston make moves to sign Thierry Small. Now, if you didn't know this, I believe Wayne Vasey is kind of like the person who runs or owns Football Insider, and he's been given the byline. So the fact that his name is on this, I think it's genuine, and I think it's serious. So Thierry Small of Charlton. So Millwall and Preston North End have registered their interest in signing Charlton Athletic defender Thierry Small, sources have told Football Insider. Charlton have offered a new contract to Small, whose deal is set to expire in June. Championship duo Millwall and Preston lead the race to sign the former Everton and Southampton left-back. Small, 20, joined Charlton from Saints on a free transfer in February 2024 and is now a regular for the League One outfit. The youngster is a natural left-back but has played as a right-winger for Nathan Jones at the Valley this season. Small has made 42 appearances across all competitions for the Alex this season, notching 2 goals and 5 assists. He has also made his debut for England's under-20 side this term, having previously played in the under-18 setup. The Solihull-born star made just 2 combined appearances during his time at Everton and Southampton, and they were both in the FA Cup, but is now playing regular first-team football in the 3rd tier. Small also gained experience in recent seasons with loans at St Mirren and Port Vale. Mill sit 9th in the Championship, yep, and there's nothing really, it's just filler really. So it's just filler. They just wanted to publish the headline that Millwall are interested in Thierry Small. Now, obviously listed as a left-back, but is that what he is? I'm not too sure. Now, obviously, I'm not a Charlton fan, don't watch Charlton, don't know what's going on with them, but I do know they're in the playoff places. It looks like they're going to be getting in the playoffs, so be a bit interesting if he does leave them for us and then they come up and then we have to play them again next season. That would be jolly good, guaranteed 6 points, but interesting stuff. So let's have a look. Who is this guy? Who are you? Who are you? What are you doing? So this is from fbref.com. It's his page on there. What do we want to look at? There's a lot of stuff on here. It's very, very busy with it's like an Excel spreadsheet. So this is his career. And it's not season by season, it's multiple seasons in that. So you have to look here where it says 2020-21. So he's at Everton, the Premier League 2, Division 1, which is the Junior League, JR Junior League. Okay, so that's under 21s. I think it was under 21s at the time. Then. Because before that it used to be under 19s. So he's at Everton as a junior. I believe he maybe was or is Everton's youngest ever player. He played in an FA Cup game for them. But the season after, but he leaves anyway. He leaves. I think they tried to get him to sign a new contract, saying, "Look, we'll put you in an FA Cup game. Sign a contract. And it didn't work. Then he goes to Southampton, who by that time they were in the Premier League. I think maybe they may have just got promoted. So he's at Southampton 21-22. He is named on the bench in Premier League games 3 times, but he doesn't get on. He's non-playing substitute. In this same season, while he's doing that, he is Southampton's under-21 team. The following season, 22-23, quite busy for him because He played 4 times for Southampton under 21s, who won the league that year, but that was Division 2. It says it was because they have 2 divisions. Like Division 1 is the higher one, Division 2 is the lower one. So 22-23, plays 4 times for Southampton under 21s. Has a loan to Port Vale where he plays 4 times. And has a loan to St Mirren where he plays 14 times, starts 7 times, 585 minutes. So this is quite like professional. They're in the Premiership. They finished 6th, which if you don't know, that's quite high for St Mirren. That's 6th in the Premiership. So when you think, obviously, the top 2 places are guaranteed, that's Celtic and Rangers, Glasgow Rangers. And then you've got, obviously, some combinations of maybe Aberdeen, Hibernian, Hearts, although Hearts, I think they got relegated and they had to come back up. So there's not much room there, but it's obviously the team, the Scottish Premiership only has like 12 teams, so they finish halfway in the league, but that's decent for a team like St Mirren. Interestingly, he got sent off twice at St Mirren, which is interesting. So I don't know whether that was like 2 yellow cards or what, but so that's that. And then the season after that, 23-24, he's back at St Mirren. I think that's still a loan. So they must have liked what they saw because they wanted him back, but he plays less. Don't know if he was injured or what. He starts 5 games. He plays in 5 games, starts 3 of them. So it doesn't play that much. Same season, 23-24, leaves and goes to Charlton. Plays 14 games in League One. And then this season, playing a lot of games so far, 36, 29 starts, 2,612 minutes. So, scored 2 goals. He's, getting involved. So here's, obviously, some of these leagues, they don't cover most of the stats, but, they've got how many shots he's had each season. So this season, 41. Because I think they've been using him, which is maybe where we're looking at him, because he was a left back, but they moved him. So Nathan Jones mastermind stroke. They're playing him as an outside right, apparently, and we'll get onto that in a minute. And that's great. Thank you for that. So yeah, you got your playing time, minutes per match played, average you can see, team success when he's been involved and when he hasn't. All this kind of stuff. What we got cards. So it doesn't really get carded that much. But I don't know why he got sent off twice at St Mirren. Seems a bit of a weird one. But it goes on and on and on. Right. Now, let's have a look at this from whoscored.com. So this is Charlton's page there. So if we go down here, this is their players, the best players rating from whoscored.com rating, going down. So their best players apparently Lloyd Jones, 7.54, and you go down and you go down. Like they're all defenders. Interestingly enough, the top 5 are all defenders. And then you go to Miles Lieben. Obviously, there's Alex Mitchell there, 6.81. Remember him? Tyrese Campbell, who's been also mentioned as well. But we get to number 13. So he's only got a rating of 6.67. So not the best, but not the worst. Obviously, that's an average. So there you go. That's putting him into. Before I tell you more about him, putting him into the situation, context, I think they call it. So he's listed here as a defender left, midfielder left to right. Here's his stats, so far this season. This is his season. Average 6.67 as we've seen. He played in the League Cup, 6.22. Played in the FA Cup and the Papa John's, there's no rating for that. 2,615 minutes, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 yellow cards, 1.2 shots per game. Passing accuracy is not the best. Does he get involved in defensive stuff? 0.9 tackles per game. Clearances 1.9 per game. Okay. Yeah, he's 6 foot tall. I don't know if it says that up here. No. Apparently 6'1". So assists 2, yeah, shots per game. Dribbles pass, as in dribbling 1.6 per game. That's average. Passing wise, so there you go. But look at this. What the hell is this? He plays at left back, left wing back, left midfielder, and attacking left midfielder. And the same on the right hand side. It's like, what? What is this? But you can see he's been, a left back. But this season, this is just for this season, he's only played 3 times at left back. He's got a rating of 6.31. But over here, attacking midfielder right, kind of like Romain Esse, as in he plays on the right, but he's left-footed. As in he goes down there, he dribbles, passes people, cuts inside, bosh. 14 times, 1 goal, 1 assist, rating of 6.97. Not only that, but apparently his best performance has been as a right midfielder. But I know he's 3 appearances, 1 goal, 7.51. So, man. But bizarrely, as a defensive wing back on the right hand side, only 5.58, but that was only in 1 game. So that is an anomaly. His strengths are dribbling. So again, much like Romain Esse. His weaknesses are holding onto the ball, passing and tackling. He likes to cross, he likes to dribble, plays the ball off the ground often, does not like to dive into tackles. Cool. Here's some of his latest matches, but we will go to this and... before we get to his list of matches this season, again, this is a clearer view of where his career has been since he's turned professional. So this just starts from St Mirren loan when he was playing professional men's football, not under 21s, which he was doing at Southampton and what was the other one? Everton. So you can see he's gradually getting better, but you can see again with this it's a bit weird because this is the same season, but they've separated the league, as in League One and the League Cup. I don't know why they do that. Kind of weird, but whatever. So you can say 6.39 at St Mirren, 6.21 with Port Vale in League One, but all of those were substitute appearances. And then League One with Charlton, 6.51 in his first season. Second season, League One with Charlton, 6.67. So he's getting better. So that's this season, 6.67. So he's getting better. And especially now they're playing him as an attacking right midfielder, even though he's left-footed. So this is the thing. Oh, you're left-footed, you can play left-back. Well, is that the best place to play him? Or are you just putting him there because he's left-footed? Maybe that's not what you need to do. And this is the thing. Someone's figured it out, and now the guy has been getting better and better and better. So now we're going to have a look at his matches this season. And interesting enough, so at the start of the season, he played a few full games, and then he's played a few games where he's come off early, and then he starts to, I think, probably coming off the bench because he's got 4 minutes here, 37 minutes there, 28. So he had a spell where he was a substitute, and his ratings, kind of proved that 5.77, 5.89, and then it seems from about Christmas onwards, maybe because he's like he's got an eye on the end of the season. He obviously, the transfer window's coming up, and he's thought, okay, well, I'm not going to sign a new contract here. I'm getting out of it, so I need to turn it on. And boy, has he turned it on. Full games, 90 minutes, loads of 90 minutes. A game there where 45 minutes, where Charlton lost 4-2 away at Rotherham. Got a rating of 5.58, but other than that, full games, he's getting 7.65, 8.3. That one, he scored there, 7.65. He scored the only goal of the game and won the game. Got on a rating of 7.65. But then the next game got a rating of 8.3. He didn't even score in that game. That's one of his highest ratings this season. 8.46, Charlton 4, Huddersfield 0. Played 90 minutes, got an assist. And that seems to be his highest rating of the season, 8.46. So you can see, since, December, he's kind of turned it on. And obviously 2 goals, an assist, a few yellow cards as well. But I would say, obviously, just based off the numbers, he does look like an interesting player, especially if we can get him for free. Obviously, there'll be some kind of signing on bonus or whatever. But, in terms of having a player who can play as an attacking winger on the left or the right, but he can also play at left back if we need him to. I mean, man, this is like utility man. And he's only 21. Or he's going to be 21 in August. So, I mean, this is a very interesting signing. Like, I'd be quite pleased if we did sign this guy. I'm very pleased. Seems a very interesting. Obviously, he was at Everton, he was at Southampton. In the Premier League, he's there within touching distance of it. He played in the FA Cup a couple of times. Was an unused substitute on the Premier League bench. Can you imagine? What age would he be in then? Like 18, 17? He's on the bench in a Premier League game. Like, he must think, oh, I'm going to be a Premier League player. But he never was. Never. He didn't get over the line. Didn't make it. He didn't even come off the bench. He was an unused substitute. And then he's had to go down to fucking Charlton Athletic. And he's had to play there for a couple of years. And now he's got a chance of moving on to a bigger team, at Millwall. So, there you go. I mean, wow. So, not quite the old non-league and work your way back up. But, I mean, Premier League youngster, wonder kid, goes out to League One and has to come back up to the Championship. And then, obviously we're going to win the league next season. So, if he joins us, he'll be playing in the Premier League in a couple of seasons. So there you go. This is mentioned today. Now, moving on to this, some more post-match stuff from the game on Tuesday. Obviously, it's a couple of days later. I think this is the last opportunity because obviously tomorrow we have to start talking about the massive game on Saturday, which the tickets are selling quite quickly for that. So there you go. So let's have a look at this. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press. Talking points for Mill's 1-0 win at Sheffield United. Lions maintain record as Palace lonely fails to convert chances. Mill put themselves right in the mix of making a late surge towards the Championship playoffs after a 1-0 win at Sheffield United on Tuesday night. Here are Edmund Brack's talking points from the game. Impressive record. It is now 21 games unbeaten when Mill have taken the lead in the Championship. The Lions have picked up 14 wins and 7 draws from those games, at a type of stat which is carrying them back into the top 6 equation. The South Londoners are the joint second lowest scorers in the division, alongside Hull on 40, but their impenetrable defence, which was without Jafet Tanganga due to a hand injury, kept out the Blades, despite them having 25 attempts at Lucas Jensen's goal, 5 of them on target. Mill's season looked dead and buried after their lacklustre defeat at Leeds in mid-March left an 8-point gap with just 9 matches to play. But just 1 defeat and 3 wins in their last 4 has taken them to the cusp of breaking into the playoffs. Well, not really the cusp, is it? Like, I would say within reaching distance. Lions struck first but missed golden chance. Oh yeah, why didn't he take a touch? In what was a rather cagey opening 20 minutes of Bramwell Lane, it was the Lions who drew first blood in the Steel City from a lovely team move which started with Luke Cundle sweeping the ball into the centre of the pitch for Billy Mitchell. After combining with Rhinelander, the Lions midfielder played through the advancing Casper De Norre, spun and picked out Josh Coburn. The Middlesbrough Loney was forced wide but struck a sweet right-footed effort into the roof of the net and beyond Michael Cooper. The game opened up in the second half and Coburn had the ball on the breakaway in the 57th minute. He turned provider this time and played through strike partner Mihailo Ivanovic one-on-one with Cooper in the 57th minute. But instead of taking a touch from the edge of the box and finding a way past Cooper, the Serbian international rushed his effort and shot tamely at the former Plymouth stopper. Ivanovic, who netted twice in Saturday's 2-1 win over Portsmouth, was fortunate it was not a chance the Lions were left to rue. Yeah, that would have been a bigger thing if we didn't win that game. It would have been, I think the knives would have been out for him to some extent, although he's built up, a lot of credit with the fans. They do have an affection for him. Palace Loney had chances to break Lions' hearts. Blades boss Chris Wilder brought on the Crystal Palace Loney Jezeran Arak-Saki at half-time for Ben Bertrand Diaz to try and get back into the game. The former Charlton winger instantly made an impact and should have brought the game level when he met a pullback inside the area, but he fluffed his effort wide. Arak-Saki went close again in the 53rd minute, twisting and turning inside the penalty box and firing at Jensen. Millwall wanted to take Arak-Saki on loan from their South London rivals last summer, and he nearly brought the game level in the 85th minute, collecting a pass from Callum O'Hare with his back to goal before firing just wide of the post. Middlesbrough game is massive, but Neil has a conundrum. Without a shadow of doubt, tomorrow's championship clash against Middlesbrough Mill's biggest game of the season. The only sickener for the Lions was Coventry City's 1-0 win over Portsmouth on Wednesday. Jamie Patson scored in the 4th minute of stoppage time to move Frank Lampard's side into 6th place. The gap to the top 6 is now 5 points instead of the more palatable 3 after Tuesday's matches were completed. It means there is even less wriggle room for Millwall to make any mistakes in their remaining matches. Both Middlesbrough and the Lions need to win tomorrow. Simple as that. Simple as. It should make for high drama. Neil will have to mastermind the plan for his attacking unit, though. Without Baroloni, Coburn is not able to play against his parents' side. Macaulay Langstaff came on for the final passage of the Sheffield United game, but the former Notts County marksman does not offer the same physical presence offered by Coburn, who has scored 5 goals in 10 championship starts for Millwall. Aaron Connolly was also absent from the matchday squad on Tuesday due to an ankle problem, with youngster AJ Matthews filling the bench. There is a lack of senior threat from the wide areas on the bench, with 17-year-old Sheldon Kendall the only deputy in the absence of Reece Bangor-Williams and Femi Aziz. Play Matthews. Start with Matthews, and then you can bring Langstaff on. Because I don't think Langstaff can do the full 90 minutes. So, man, why not start Matthews? From what I've seen of Matthews, he's, again, like I said, these youngsters, there's something different about them because of what they went through 5 years ago with the COVID situation, where they thought they were going to die. They thought the end of the world was nigh. And it's kind of left some kind of mean streak through them that, it's toughened them up. And, play him. Take him off at half time, whatever, Start with him and then bring Langstaff on. Might help us get a few free kicks as well. I wouldn't be backwards in going forwards, And you think, well, no, you can't do that. It's a big game. Yeah, well, it's the biggest game of his career so far. If you've got aspirations to be a professional footballer, you should be excited that you're making your debut, but if you're going to have a career in football, it doesn't really matter until it matters at the moment. But, if you're going to play 100 games in your career, 200 games, 300 games, 400 games, it's the first of many. So, get on with it. Got to start somewhere. Now, what's this? Okay. Casper De Norre interview from South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. I now know what it means to be a Millwall player. Casper De Norre in his strong second season at Den Outfit. Now, I don't know about you. Have you noticed a lot of players are doing interviews? I think they are. What's the word? Grandstanding? No. Electioneering. Obviously, there is a Player of the Season vote that is open at the moment that closes, I believe, on Monday the 14th. I haven't voted yet. I told you I wasn't going to vote until probably Sunday the 13th. Because I'm going to do a video about it on Sunday. Telling you who I voted for and why I voted for them. But until then, we've seen the players come out and give interviews and they're talking to people. I think they're trying to, put their names out there, and Casper De Norre has been mentioned a few times as, a very viable. He's consistent. He's been consistent all season. I don't think, has he been injured? He hasn't been injured this season, has he? So, I think it's Jensen, Tanganga, De Norre for the players who played the most minutes. So there you go. So let's have a look at this then. What's he saying? What's he been saying? Casper De Norre has expressed his happiness at his Mill campaign with the Belgian midfielder having featured in every single match this season. I didn't even pre-read this. I'm reading this for the first time now. The 28-year-old is in his second season with the South London club. De Norre started 39 of the Lions Championship matches and has 46 appearances in total, including 4 goals and 4 assists. De Norre told the South London Press, I'm really pleased to have featured in all of the games, and except for 3 or 4, I've started them all. I'm really pleased with that. Also, my level this season has gone up. Last year I had to get adapted to the Championship because we're still a little bit different than Belgium, and this season I also really knew what it meant to be a Millwall player and what I needed to do in the midfield. Combine that with the qualities that I already had. The season itself has been an emotional roller coaster. We started off not so good, and then we had a good run. And then when Neil left, it was a little bit like what's going to happen now. And it took a while before we had a new manager, and he has to go with the new ideas in. And so we had so many games from the start of January that there was really time to get those ideas in. Even though we tried to do it, and when you start getting results and wins, it's really nice. After the Cardiff game, when we drew in the last minute, you could feel, oof, we had Luton and Portsmouth away, and that was a crucial point of the season. We needed to get those wins to open a nice little gap and to push on from there. And on a personal level, I've been happy with my season. I felt I had a bit of dip around Christmas. Maybe that's isn't also normal because I had been used to a winter break in Belgium. And I think, since the new manager came in, I've gone to a new level again because there was a little more clarity in how I see football and how I want to play football. It was a bit more about, what we're doing now, so that also helps. So we have yet another player coming out and saying how fantastic it is being managed by Alex Neil. And he's not even trying to get a new contract. He's just saying it. Man, I think we might be going places next season. I would suggest, if you can afford it, to buy a season ticket, because when we do get promoted to the Premier League in 2 seasons' time, you're going to be at the front of the queue. If you've already got a season ticket, you just have to renew. So if you can, I think you should. Obviously, a lot of people are not thinking about renewing because of the stupid games being moved for TV. But that feels like a decision that could backfire. Obviously, you do what's best for you, whatever you have to do. Obviously, the economies are going a bit weird at the moment, but if you can afford it, I would suggest might be handy to renew your season ticket, or even get a season ticket. I think that'd be quite good. So, what have we got? We've got we've got some more. So we've got 2 stories about Alex Neil quotes from the southernnews.co.uk. Obviously, they publish their actual paper today on a Thursday. If you see it in a shop near you, I suggest you pick up a copy. Why not? Why not? Because here's the thing. Once you've read it, you can then, it's also useful. You can line the cat's litter tray with it. You can put it in the bottom of the budgie cage. You can use it as fuel in your, log fire. Whatever you want to do. You can use it to, help start the barbecue. Things like that, It's useful on many levels. I thought he was super. Millwall boss pleased with Tristan Crama's first championship start at centre-back. He was. Aye, lad, he was. Alex Neil praised Tristan Crama, his first championship start as centre-back with the Frenchman, helping Millwall keep a clean sheet as they beat Sheffield United 1-0 at Bramall Lane on Tuesday, April the 8th. Crama joined the Lions during the January transfer window, signing from Exeter City. Well, no, he signed from Brentford, let's get it right. He was on loan at Exeter City. Technicalities, I know. The 23-year-old is naturally a centre-back, but injuries to Ryan Leonard and Danny McNamara in a span of 5 minutes, how's your luck? During the Lions' 2-2 draw with Cardiff City on January the 21st, meant Crama had to fill in at right-back. He went on to make 14 appearances in that role. A wrist injury ruled starting centre-back Jafet Tanganga out of Mill's trip to Bramall Lane, and Neil opted to return Crama to his natural position and hand Leonard his first start since returning from injury. The Scotsman thought it went well. I thought it was super, Neil said. A lot of the others that he's won as well. I thought he did really well. His pace, he's so quick with the ball down the side. Tyrese Campbell, I worked with his Lightning. I've seen him so many times since he's been here in particular. He'll get down the sides of people's left foot. But I thought, Tristan Crama covered all these bases. And it was helpful that I knew Tyrese. So, I could try and give him a few pointers. But the easy bit is telling him. The hard bit is him doing it. And he did it great, It's fantastic. Also, Alex Neil, with half an eye on, Saturday, Alex Neil says the importance of the Middlesbrough clash is magnified after Mill's 1-0 win at Bramall Lane cuts the gap to the playoff spots. Alex Neil believes Mill's clash with Middlesbrough on Saturday, April the 12th, has taken on extra importance now that the Lions have closed the gap to the top 6 by beating Sheffield United 1-0 on Tuesday. The result leaves the Lions 5 points of 6th place Coventry, who scored a 94th minute winner to beat Portsmouth 1-0 last night. Borough began Tuesday in 6th, lost 1-0 to Leeds United and are now just 3 points above Millwall. Saturday's match gives the Lions the opportunity to draw level with another playoff contender. I think the importance of the game is just magnified, isn't it? Neil said. I think at the weekend there was probably the best atmosphere at the Den that I've experienced since I've been here. And I'm really hoping this Saturday will be far better than that because there's a lot at stake, isn't there? If we can go and try and win the game, then we can give ourselves an opportunity. Yeah, man. Why not? Why not, man? So we got this was announced today, Dockers Day 2025. I don't know if they announced it before, or they're just doing it now. It's a bit short notice, obviously the game this Saturday. Mill to celebrate 2025 Dockers Day versus Middlesbrough. Millwall Football Club will celebrate the return of its popular Dockers Day on Saturday afternoon as the Lions take on Middlesbrough in the Sky Bet Championship kick-off 3 p.m. Dockers Day reminisces on the heritage and roots of the Lions with a host of Dockers and former players to be present in SC16. This year, the day will be held in memory of former Millwall player Dave Mehmet, who sadly passed away in April 2024. Dave made just over 150 appearances for Millwall across 2 spells in the late 70s and 80s, with many of his former teammates set to be in SC16 this weekend. Names attending include the likes of Phil Coleman, Peter Glazier, Sean Sparham, Chris Dibble, Tony Kinsella and many more, with those present to undertake a lap of honour around the pitch at half-time. A Dockers Day special video, complete with interviews with names such as Chris Bevel, the organiser of Dockers Day, will appear on the big screen before kick-off. We hope you have a great day. Now, I mentioned this the other day, but we've got this startling, colourful photograph here. which looks to be taken out from the Brussels score, I think. The tournament, the Matija Sarkic Memorial Tournament that took place last Friday and Saturday in Belgium, in Brussels. It was a junior tournament. Obviously, when it was announced, we all kind of, is it going to be like a pre-season friendly thing for the first team? No, it's for children. It's for the lowest age brackets that they have, under 13s, which is 12-year-olds. So we've got some news from millfc.co.uk, which is the club's official website. Millwall's Academy took part in the Matija Sarkic Memorial Tournament last week, an event designed to honour the life of the former Millwall goalkeeper who tragically passed away in June 2024, which saw Matija's clubs come together to participate. Millwall reached the semi-finals of the tournament, defeating Ud Evele Leuven 4-1, Royal Antwerp 2-0, and Birmingham City 9-0. Whoa! In the group stages, before seeing off Wolverhampton Wanderers via a penalty shootout in the quarter-finals. They were then beaten by Standard Liège on penalties in the final four, as in the semi-finals, finishing third overall. So I don't think there was a third-fourth playoff. I think they probably just ranked it in terms of how badly you got beaten in the semi-final, and then that meant if you finished third or fourth. So it doesn't, because they don't mention the third or fourth playoff. Aaron Yang, one of Mill's squad, was awarded a place in the team of the tournament. Whilst all participant players and staff got the chance to speak to Matija's family at the ceremony, where his father Bohan expressed appreciation to all Mill's players and staff, first team to academy, for their recent support, which is nice to hear. So fantastic stuff there. I don't know how long are the games at this level? Is it two times 30 minutes? Is it a 60-minute game? I don't think. Is it a 90-minute game? It can't be, no. Not under 13s. I don't think. Anyway, it's still a very good achievement. To travel to a different country, albeit not that far away, and to turn up and in an alien environment and to perform, to do this well. They won 3 games. They won one of them 9-0. They got through a penalty shootout in the quarterfinal. Yeah, a penalty shootout. You've seen them on the television. Like, how nerve-wracking that is. It's 1v1. Mono and mono. You've got to step up, and if you miss it, like the weight on you, I mean, even though it's a friendly tournament, is it? But I mean, still, and they won it. But then they got beaten in the semi-final on penalties. So they won a penalty shootout in the quarters, and they lost a penalty shootout in the semis. But good stuff, fantastic stuff. Now, got to mention this. Kelloggs football camps returned for a second year with over 30,000 free places. This is from millfc.co.uk. Kelloggs football camps are back for a second year thanks to Kellogg's, the purveyors of cereals, in partnership with the English Football League, plus current Premier League champions Man City and Scottish powerhouses Celtic and Rangers, with over 30,000 places available across 70 clubs nationwide. So that's interesting. So there's nationwide, I assume they mean, because they're mentioning Celtic and Rangers, they mean the country, as in Great Britain. So only 70 clubs have been getting involved. Parents of children in London aged 5 to 15 years can sign up for a free football camp place this summer, hosted by Millwall. Kellogg's football camps will provide families with more ways to keep their children active over the summer holidays, tapping into Britain's love for the beautiful game and making summer activities more accessible for young football fans across the country. Following a hugely successful first year that saw over 58,000 camp visits, Kellogg's football camps are fun and inclusive sports sessions for both boys and girls. Plus, for anyone who signs up and claims one of the more than 30,000 camps days on offer, they will be in with a chance to win a free Kellogg's football shirt to wear with pride. Well, if you win it, it's not free, is it? Why is there an asterisk there? You need to buy a pack of cereal and then go to their website to enter the code for a chance to win the football shirt. Aha. So there you go. So signing up for a free Kellogg's camp spot this summer couldn't be easier. Parents simply need to purchase a pack of cereal, then head to kelloggfc.com and enter the unique cereal box code to secure a spot. So it's free, but you have to buy a pack of cereal. It's not free then, is it? It's cheap, and you're buying one thing and you get another thing for free, and then you get a chance to receive a free football shirt. But then there's an asterisk, and it still doesn't mention what is it, like one football shirt to go around. How many football shirts are there? Why is there an asterisk and then it doesn't tell you what that's about? It's very weird. But that shirt does look good, doesn't it? They should sell that. They should. I'll tell you what. Kellogg's, that would look good on a Millwall show, and they should sponsor us, especially if we're going to get promoted next season. Why don't they sponsor anyone? They don't sponsor anyone, do they? Why? And they've never sponsored anyone, but now they're getting involved in these free football camps. I guess they want to be non-partisan, and they don't want to, because I don't know if you know the story, that Celtic and Rangers, they had a couple of seasons where they had the same sponsor, because they were having trouble getting sponsors, because whoever sponsored them, the other half of the city and the fans would not touch their product with a barge pole. So they had a few seasons where they basically had the same sponsor on both shirts, which is insane if you think about it, but I mean, quite clever as well. Now, here comes the fun and games, and I will try not to lose my mind, but it's not going to be easy, because we're living in a fucking clown world. And here we go. This is from southwarknews.co.uk, but it's all over the place, as you can imagine, especially, I think I saw it was in, what's that communist paper, the Morning Star, something like that. It was in that. The Daily Mirror, of course, obviously, the Daily Mail, They're going to love this at the Daily Mail, Oliver Holt, Millwall charged with misconduct by the Football Association. Millwall have been charged with misconduct by the Football Association in relation to controlling their fans, following their FA Cup fifth round tie against Crystal Palace on Saturday, March the 1st. The FA have released the following statement. Mill have been charged with misconduct in relation to crowd control following the FA Cup tie against Crystal Palace on Saturday, the 1st of March. It's alleged that during the 5th and 20th minutes, the club failed to ensure its spectators and/or supporters, and anyone purporting to be supporters, conduct themselves in an orderly fashion and don't use mean words or behave in an improper, offensive, abusive, indecent, or insulting way with either express or implied reference to sexual orientation. Mill has until Wednesday the 16th of April to respond. And Mill have issued a statement, yada yada yada. Now, there is no way to respond, because you are not allowed to defend yourself. And we'll get into that in a minute, but what the fuck was that? Hello? Am I still recording? Okay. We'll get onto the club statement. So the club have put this statement out, which is, we'll read it. And this is from millfc.co.uk if you wanted to find it. Millwall Football Club notes the Football Association's decision to charge the club with breaches of Rule E21. More on that in a minute. Following the Emirates FA Cup fixture away to Crystal Palace on Saturday the 1st of March 2025. The chant in question is condemned by Millwall Football Club, and once again it strongly emphasises its zero-tolerance policy against discrimination of all kinds. The club remains committed to working tirelessly to eradicate homophobic chanting and any other form of discriminatory abuse from the sport. This work will continue under the club's leading anti-discrimination campaign, All Wall, which is promoted ahead of every fixture and overseen by its industry-leading Equality Steering Committee. So you may have seen, on the website, I don't put it on here because, it's a load of old shit in it, but, they keep putting this thing up. Oh, United for Change, All Wall, all of this shit. And when they're doing that, they're signalling, it's a signalling thing. And they're signalling to people like the FA. Although I don't think they're going to mention it. So then, what do they mention? They talk about, I'm not going to read all this shit, you can read it if you want. They talk about all this shit that they do. We've got gay teams now. They got 2 gay teams. 2. Mill have got 2 gay teams, if you didn't know. And then they're telling you they do all this stuff because, this is called due diligence. But we'll get into a minute why you're not allowed to use due diligence as a defence. So the fact that they're mentioning all this stuff doesn't mean a fucking bean. Right, so this is from bbc.co.uk, football section, Wolverhampton Wanderers, from the 9th of May 2023 to the end of, what would that have been, 2 seasons ago? Wolves charged by Football Association over the fans' homophobic chants. Homophobic. Wolves have been charged by the Football Association for failing to control their fans at a match disrupted by homophobic chants. 3 arrests were made for alleged homophobic chanting when Wolves beat Chelsea at Marlow last month. Supporters were told over the PA system during the game that discriminatory behaviour and chants were not tolerated. Both clubs later condemned the chants, and Wolves are now facing a sanction. The FA said Wolves had breached the FA Rule E21 twice during the fixture. Exactly what Millwall alleged to have done. Rule E21 states that a club must ensure the spectators and our club supporters conduct themselves in an orderly fashion, not use the mean words. Chelsea players and supporters have been the target of a homophobic chant from opposing fans. The Crown Prosecution Service last year classed this chant as a homophobic slur and said fans singing it during matches were committing a hate crime. The FA wrote to clubs in January to say it could take disciplinary action against clubs if fans engage in discriminatory behaviour, including the homophobic chant. So, if you haven't figured it out yet, the homophobic chant is the phrase Chelsea rent boys in some fashion or other. Obviously, when at the Crystal Palace game, we're playing Crystal Palace. We're not playing Chelsea, so how did that come up? Ben Chilwell, who is a Chelsea player and is on loan at Crystal Palace, some kind of chant towards him, calling him a Chelsea rent boy. If you don't know what a rent boy is, well done. It's a young male prostitute, and it came to prominence because, members of parliament were using Chelsea rent boys, and they probably still are to this day. So this chant has been going on, I think, before my time, from the 70s, no? Has it not? Because I think there was a scandal with Chelsea rent boys in real life, involving members of parliament, and that's been attached somehow to Chelsea Football Club, because I don't think the football club was actually involved. It's just the area of Chelsea, which is a lovely area, by the way. Lovely area. Used to work there. Very good. So this chant that many fans have been doing, not all, Wolves have been doing it. Many clubs have been doing it. 2 years ago, the state apparatus of the Crown Prosecution Service decided that what fans have been singing since the 70s, in response to a scandal involving the government, the House of Commons, can now no longer be mentioned. It's verboten. You can't. It's illegal now. Why is it illegal? Because they say it's illegal, and that's how authoritarian governments work. We are now living in the post-liberal authoritarian world where liberalism is going to be enforced upon you. You will have no choice. You have to accept. You have to accept it. It's you cannot just tolerate these things. You will be forced to accept them under the threat of state mandated monopoly of violence that the state has. They can come to where you are. They can grab you and physically throw you into a jail cell and lock you up for saying some words, and you have no recourse at all. That's as an individual. But, this is the same Crown Prosecution Service that weirdly was unable to prosecute Jimmy Savile, which is interesting because, the person in charge of the Crown Prosecution Service at the time was the current Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. That's very interesting. But, at the moment, they couldn't do their jobs then, and now they are seemingly telling you that a chant that fans have been singing at football games, mostly involving Chelsea. Obviously, this was kind of weird, is involving a Chelsea player at Crystal Palace. But that is now longer allowed to be mentioned because they have totally abandoned the principle of consent of the governed, and they are now imposing their authority upon you. Like I said, it's post-liberal authoritarianism. These ideas are going to be forced upon you. You have no choice. Okay? I'm glad you agree with that. Now, the weird thing about Millwall's charges are, Millwall have been charged with failing to control their supporters at Selhurst Park. How does that work? And someone else agrees with me in that this website, pretty plain looking website called London Football News, .co.uk. We won't hold that against them. They mentioned obviously Simon Jordan. I didn't listen today to, I imagine, on his show on TalkSport, which I think it's, when does it run, from 10 to 1 or 11 to 1? He must have been on there, and he does a show with Jim White, and they have another third person that is different every day. Sometimes Martin Keown, some other people. And they've got this. So Simon Jordan, former Crystal Palace chairman, if you didn't know, has defended Millwall after the club were charged by the Football Association over homophobic chanting during last month's FA Cup tie at Crystal Palace. The charge relates to chants aimed at Palace's on-loan Chelsea fullback Ben Chilwell during the fifth round tie, which Alex Neil's side lost 3-1. Millwall fans are alleged to have chanted, in quotes, Chelsea rent boy at Chilwell. Now, interesting that they're the only ones who published this. No one else seems to let you know. And that's how you know when it's complete fucking bullshit. If they don't quote you and tell you what it was, like, obviously they can like put a few asterisks in or stuff, you know, they can. But they make it seem like, oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world. It's the worst. Wait, oh my God, it's so bad. We can't tell you what it is, but trust us, it's really bad. You know, it's really bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. This is what it was. A lot of people online, from what I've seen, they seem to be confused. They think it relates to the let him die for Matija. No, it's not that. It's not that. An FA statement read, yeah, well, we know about that. I've just read that already. Now, former Palace chairman Jordan believes it is wrong to blame Millwall for the behaviour of some of their fans. Speaking on TalkSport, Jordan said, "How are Millwall as a football club supposed to control their fans in an away ground? What are they supposed to do? The accusation is failure to control your fans. Explain to me, in very simple terms, how Millwall Football Club could have controlled their fans in this instance. Failure to control their fans? What are they going to do? Amputate their tongues? Tell me what you do. If pockets of fans still behave poorly, how can the club subsequently be accountable for that?" And this is my point. I agree with that 100%. And then they say Millwall have released a statement. Now, here's the thing. We'll get onto the why they're doing what they're doing, but I agree with Simon Jordan in that an individual's actions are the responsibility of that individual. Okay? It is not the responsibility of Millwall Football Club. Now, you could say, and I don't know if this is how they decide this, Millwall Football Club is wholly responsible for who they sell the tickets to. The tickets are curated and they are limited to a select group of people, as in season ticket holders, and I don't think they even made it to members. I think it was just season ticket holders. So it's literally just season ticket holders. But what I think they do, so you can imagine, if I can use an analogy, please allow me to use an analogy. Let's say you're on a school trip. You. You go away with your school, you go on a coach, you go to a museum, you go to look at some old shit, you know, like a coprolite. Literally some old shit. So your school's there. Some Wally's, he's fucking around, he breaks something. Obviously, the school is responsible because they've taken this group of people to this place on a trip. And obviously, but that's kind of different again because obviously they're kids. Like, it's a school trip, they're underage. So they can't really be responsible. So someone has to be responsible on their behalf. And at this point, it's the school that's taking them on the trip. But in this instance as well, the trip is to Crystal Palace. Mill didn't even lay coaches on. So it's not as if the Millwall season ticket holders that were heavily, restricted by Millwall. Millwall decided who got the tickets. They did all the this many points, that many points, that many points, and they sold the tickets. I believe on the behalf of the FA, because I think it's like there's separate rules in terms of how you sell the tickets for the FA Cup games, and it's like 45% goes to each club, and then 10% goes to the FA. So, Mill didn't even put coaches on to Crystal Palace, because it's just down the road. We're not stupid, obviously. Crystal Palace put coaches on when they come to Millwall a couple of seasons ago, but that's kind of weird. But whatever, you do you. So this, you can't even class it as a trip by Millwall fans, organised by Millwall to go to Selhurst Park. It's literally just Millwall restricted ticket sales to a select few, and they sold them to individuals who met the criteria. It was individuals who bought tickets. But, so again, I agree with Simon Jordan. The charge, if anything, should be on Crystal Palace. Now, as we mentioned here, so they're saying Wolverhampton. So this was at Wolverhampton's ground, and Wolverhampton were charged. But they said in the story, that they put out a thing over the loudspeaker. Obviously, I wasn't able to get a ticket to Crystal Palace. Did anybody go to Crystal Palace? Anybody watching this? Did Crystal Palace put out a statement on the loudspeaker telling you not to say the homophobic chant? Because if they didn't, that's a dereliction of their duty. They should be doing that. But here we go. So here we go. This is the FA sanctioned guidelines for discrimination by crowds, because the FA is judge, jury, and executioner. Because what's happened, and is it on this one? We'll get into this first, and then we'll go on to the next one. There's one more thing after this. So the FA's policy and guidance on the regulation of discriminatory conduct by spectators, FA Rule 20.1. Discriminatory behaviour must be dealt with appropriately, effectively, and efficiently in order to protect the integrity and image of the game and ensure that football really is for all. Club responsibility for discriminatory conduct by spectators. The FA does not have direct jurisdiction over spectators unless they are participants by some other means. FA Rule E20.1 provides that a club shall be responsible for ensuring, amongst other things, that its supporters refrain from improper conduct. This includes refraining from any improper conduct, which includes a reference, whether expressed or implied, to any one of the following: ethnic origin, colour, race, nationality, religion or belief, gender reassignment, sexual orientation, or disability. A breach of this is considered misconduct. Investigations and formal disciplinary action. The FA investigates all allegations of discriminatory conduct by spectators, subject to considerations below. Where there is sufficient evidence, a club is likely to face disciplinary action by way of a charge of misconduct. Individual spectators. Now this is where it gets interesting. Where the FA becomes aware of an allegation of discriminatory conduct by an individual supporter, then an investigation will be commenced if it is established that the club took immediate and effective action to deal with and identify the perpetrators. This will be a significant factor in terms of mitigating against formal disciplinary action. In situations where there is evidence that the club took no or insufficient steps to deal with the incident when it became aware of the same, then this will be an aggravating factor in determining whether formal disciplinary action is taken. So that's individual spectators. Now here we go. Mass chanting. Where the FA considers there is sufficient evidence of mass discriminatory chanting by a club supporters within a stadium, then a club is likely to face disciplinary action. So there you go. So when it's an individual, the FA investigates. So obviously that's going to cost money, that's going to take time, but individual. You can treat an individual as an individual, but you can't treat 50 individuals as individuals. That's then the mass. And then the tables get turned. Because then, if you investigate the individual, you charge them. You get them a football banning order. And if you didn't know, they get paid for football banning orders. The police do. By the Home Office. But when it's more than one individual, it's too much trouble. It's too much buffer. So, man, we have to investigate all these individuals. I can't be bothered. Let's just do a mass chanting thing. So when it's mass chanting, they charge the club, and guess what happens? They can fine the club. They make money. They make money from mass chanting misconduct charges. They don't have to investigate individual cases and prove and evidence and all of this stuff. Oh, no, it's mass chanting. Oh. And then you've got all this fucking shit. Specialist panel member. Where a club has issued a charge of misconduct for breach of the rules, a regulatory commission appointed to determine the charge comprise at least one panel member with the requisite experience in crowd management matters and on previous crowd management hearings. And all of this stuff, and all of this stuff, and all of this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. And then this is the naughty step. Action plan. First offence. So basically, probation. Basically, this is worse than just giving you a fine. This is what happened before to Millwall. And I think we're still under it. For the chanting for this fucking, that cunt at Wigan, James McLean, who's now at Wrexham, and he's still agitating the fans at Wrexham and getting them in trouble, but nothing happens to him, this James McLean. So we got in trouble with that, and we were put on an action plan. So, which is worse than just fine me. Just fucking fine me. Here's your money. Get the fuck out of my life. But no. Oh, you have to do this. You have to do this. We need to see you doing this and all this stuff. Like I said, post-liberal authoritarianism manifest. And last but not least, why is it a waste of time for Millwall to show due diligence and all of... we've got 2 gay teams and all of this shit? Well... misconduct by spectators. This is from inlincolnshirefa.com. It's basically for local clubs, but it's basically the FA rules. For charges against a club in respect of misconduct by spectators, a club will not be found guilty of misconduct if it can show that all events, incidents, or circumstances were the result of circumstances over which it had no control, or for reasons of crowd safety, and they had used all due diligence to ensure that responsibility was discharged. In order to achieve compliance with Article 58 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, FA rules have been changed to a strict liability approach so that the due diligence defence as outlined shall not apply for clubs subject to E20 charge for misconduct by spectators, including direct or indirect reference to ethnic origin, colour, race, nationality, religion or belief, gender reassignment, sexual orientation, or disability. Translated, you cannot defend yourself if you are charged with this charge. Due diligence shall not apply. You cannot, as a club, say, look, we do all this stuff. We've got this, we've got that, we've got these 2 gay teams. Look, my wife's a transvestite. It's all very good. Oh, look, I'm waving a rainbow flag. Look at me. It doesn't matter. You cannot defend yourself against this charge. It literally says that. You can If it's a misconduct for anything else, but not for this, you cannot defend yourself. It's simple as. If you are accused, they will find you guilty in this post-liberal authoritarianism that we are subject to every day in our lives now. So there you go. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic? And on that note, thank you for watching, and if I don't get arrested, see you tomorrow for the next video.